One of my all-time favorites from way back in the day, covering his entire career. Pro Football Hall of Famer, 5-time All-Pro defensive back from the Philadelphia Eagles, mostly. Joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show, courtesy of Novo Nordisk, is Brian Dawkins. How you doing, Brian Dawkins?
I'm absolutely blessed, brother. Absolutely blessed.
I know you are, and I love chatting with you. Let's just jump right into it. And the acquisition of Robert Quinn by the Eagles means what for you?
Wow.
Yeah.
Depth. Number one, depth.
Mm-hmm.
Rotation depth, right? Another playmaker at the defensive position. So another game changer, not just a playmaker, but a game changer. And then me, because I love it, is competition in the room. And the more competition in the room, the better results you'll get from the room. And I love that. I love that they're bringing this individual in to now challenge BG to see who can get the most sacks or challenge. You see what I'm saying? Like that, for me, in a room, when you have that healthy competition, it really brings out the best in your team.
And, you know, the general sense I have, similar to what many in the media are saying, is this is reminiscent of the Rams acquiring Von Miller last year. And we saw what happened there. Do you think there are similar DNA in that move and this move, Brian?
Yeah, I kind of felt the same thing, that they're kind of pushing, I won't say all the chips to the middle of the table, but like they're in. That they're all into making this run this year and seeing if that depth and the offensive line, the way that they're playing, the growth in Jalen Hurts and the additions at the receiver position, all of those things, to see if this is the year that the Eagles bring something back this way.
Well, I mean, you know what a championship team in that town looks like. Do you think this is one, Brian?
Listen, for me, can they win the next game? That'll always be the way that I look.
That's not the way it works, Brian. Maybe in the world of football players.
That's how my mind works. Because I understand once you start looking too far ahead and start looking at the schedule, hey, we can beat that team, you can beat that team. Yeah, now you've lost some focus on the team that you're about to play, and you're probably going to lose.
Well, I mean, the way I see it, because I'm not allowed to do the game-by-game stuff, certainly sitting in a chair like this, doing a show like this, is it looks to me that Jalen Hurts has become the rock star that everybody thought that, or hoped that he could be. Not a lot of people thought that he would be on par with, say, Lamar Jackson, right? So quickly in his tenure right now, on par with a superb quarterback like Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow, right? I mean, there are MVP talks for him, and rightfully so here. And I feel like he's got that mindset that you just mentioned too, to go in that locker room and say we're not anywhere where we need to be yet, and lead on that front, and then walk it on the field or run it, right? Throw it.
Absolutely. And for me, that was one of the things that when I first started hearing about the Eagles picking up Jalen Hurts, and I kind of looked back over his story. Even before he touched the field, I was impressed by the way he handled himself in college. Very impressed by the ability for him to stay the type of teammate that he was in Alabama, even though somebody replaced him, to then go to another team, Oklahoma, to have earn the right to be the quarterback first of all, and then have the success there to be second in the race for the Heisman. And then you come to the Philadelphia Eagles and go right into a competition with Carson Wentz. But the whole time he keeps saying the right thing, keeps saying not just the right thing, but things that are personable to him in a way that makes sense to him. And he constantly does get better. So each one of those instances I just mentioned, he kept getting better. So to me, that tells me that he's a mentally tough dude that can focus on the things that needs to be focused on, get rid of the negative things, and get better at the things that he sees that he needs to get better in. And he's done that even this year. His deep ball has improved. His accuracy has improved. His anticipation has improved. All of the things that were knocks on him last year, he's improved those things. So that, again, that means that you have a mentally tough young man that looks to improve.
Brian Dawkins, Hall of Famer here on the Rich Eisen Show, and we'll get to the health conversation that you're here to have, courtesy of Novo Nordisk, right here on the Rich Eisen Show. But I do, in the couple minutes I have with you left, I don't know how locked in you are on what Aaron Rodgers has been saying about his situation in Green Bay, but he was talking about the mistakes that are being made on the field, about 20% of mistakes on the field, talking about players need to maybe hold themselves more accountable and potentially play guys who are waiting in the wings and sitting down guys who are not performing very well, and sort of the waves that have been caused by him being so honest in assessment of his teammates and a little bit of himself as well. What do you think about those comments, Brian Dawkins?
So the first thing that I have not heard any of that, so
Okay.
I can't speak too much on that.
Yep.
But the first part of what you just said, the last part of what you said, should have been the first part of what you said, meaning that you said a little bit of accountability for himself. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm just using your words.
Yes, sir.
So for me, I'm major accountability first, me, and then we could speak about my teammates. That's just the way that I handle it. I'm not, again, I don't know the conversation.
Yes, sir.
I don't know what he really meant by the things that he's meaning. But from my vantage point as a leader, I always wanted to call out the things that I was doing wrong first, and then we can talk about the things that we collectively need to do together. That's how I always try to do it.
And then I guess, yeah, he definitely holds himself accountable, but he is talking about the team as a whole on behalf of trying to win. I think that might have been a more artful way of saying it, Brian.
So, but again, there's just different ways of handling, and I'm not saying how he's doing what he's doing is the wrong way to do it. I'm just saying it's not the way that I would have done it. I'm someone that likes to do things behind closed doors, and we can do things face to face, team like type stuff instead of media. I never did any messaging to any of my teammates other than to appreciate them, other than to congratulate them in the media. Right? Everything that I wanted to have conversation rounds with my teammates, it was between me and them, and we would have a little small team setting or defensive setting, whatever the case, and then we can have some deeper conversations.
So tell me about Tackle Your Health. What do you want people to know about this program, courtesy of Novo Nordisk? What do you want folks to know about here, Brian?
Yeah, first of all, I'm very appreciative of Novo Nordisk and the Eagles coming together and allowing me to be a part of this to kind of share my story when it comes to tackling your health. And the first word that you see in there is tackle. So that means that there's something as a player that means that I'm preparing ahead of time about the team that I'm about to face in order to tackle the person that I'm going to be going against that week. And so when I think about this subject matter of your health, that means that we need to do a better job of looking back in our past to see those individuals in our past that may have give you some red flags of whether it be type 2 diabetes, whether it be obesity, or the consequences of cardiovascular disease, of understanding the importance of then having a game plan ahead of time before you get into any of those situations. And me personally, the reason why I'm so passionate about this because my mom has diabetes and she's had a couple of strokes because of it. And so if we can do things on the front end to help people begin to do things differently, sometimes there's small things you do in your life, small adjustments. And the way that I say that is small hinges swing big doors. So sometimes you make a small adjustment in your life and how you're doing things, and all of a sudden your health benefits, your mental clarity benefits, everything begins to benefit because you make a small adjustment. And those small adjustments oftentimes can come from those health professionals that can give you that game plan. And so, I believe that we need to do a better job of looking out for ourselves because ultimately, we want to be around. I want to be around for my my grandkids. I want to hopefully be around for my great grandkids if I can. And the only way that I can have that is by me doing what I'm doing right now. I have a plan for my life. I get blood drawn, I get my levels checked on a consistent basis, and so that I can make sure that I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do, movement-wise, exercise, hydration, all of those things, so that I can be around.
Love it, man. PhiladelphiaEagles.com/tackle-your-health for more and get a simple 5-question assessment to figure out what your plan is. Brian, I appreciate the time. Always love connecting with you. Let's do this more often. And I appreciate your sense of the Philadelphia Eagles taking it one game at a time and remaining undefeated. Did I get that right?
Appreciate you, brother.
Did I get that right at the very end?
You did.
Yeah, okay, very good. Take care of yourself, Brian Dawkins. You be well.
All right, Rich. Be blessed, brother.
You're right back at you. At Brian Dawkins on Twitter, right here on The Rich Eisen Show. Catch The Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.